How's it going, everybody? Rival Indigo here, and I just had a question for you. Wouldn't you like to have a Pokemon game that was completely unique to everybody else's? That had 65,535 versions? You know, with that, that's near infinite when it comes to like my version of Pokemon versus your version and someone else's and your coworkers, etc. And just about anybody you would encounter online. The odds of you encountering somebody that had the same exact setup as you would be extremely high, or extremely rare. And that's what we almost got with the original generation. Now, fortunately, in a lot of ways we didn't, because I feel like it kept the games from being a mess at a time when they were already strained for resources and fitting the game on the Game Boy and learning how to build this kind of game. And I think that those quirks and issues and stuff lead to the great experiences we had, obviously. But here we are, and it's over 25 years later at this point. We've had 8 generations of Pokemon, countless random spin-offs in between, and a new generation on the horizon coming out this fall, just a few months away. We've had movies. The trading card game is absolutely massive. It's now the biggest in the world. The collectible and merchandise brand is off the charts. You literally, with Pokemon, have the single biggest brand in the world when it comes to entertainment and all that sort of thing. I mean, we're talking bigger than Star Wars or the MCU, you know? It's kind of insane that Pokemon has gotten that big. So why is it we haven't gotten that original vision of Pokemon? We have much better resources and technology than we ever had in the past, and procedurally generated games are all over the place. So it kind of makes sense that you would think by now we would have already had this game, or that it would be in the works or something, right? Now, Pokemon's gone through a lot of evolutions that some of us don't like, or we've grown to accept, or I guess tolerate would be the better word. I don't like Pokemon Legends Arceus at all. I can't stand the fact that it exists. However, I tolerate the fact that it exists, because I've also come to accept that Pokemon has to grow, it has to evolve, it has to try new things if it's going to stay fresh and keep bringing in new people. As long as you keep like that core Pokemon experience going, I'm okay with this. I remember I was very opposed to Pokemon Go, because when I found out that you didn't battle Pokemon at all and you basically just, swirled a Pokeball on the screen and threw it at them, I was actually quite disappointed in that. I was like, this is it. This is the end of Pokemon. But it wasn't the case. And in fact, in many ways, it's been a major opportunity for growth for Pokemon. I mean, I believe we've had hundreds of millions of players of Pokemon Go over the last 6 years that it's been out. And how many people has that brought back into playing Pokemon, or brought back into collecting the cards, or maybe just buying merchandise? Or how many new people did it bring on board who didn't before? I've literally, in my line of work, watched grown adults, and I'm talking about people in their 40s or 50s, sit down in front of me and be playing Pokemon Go on their phone while they wait for food. And I will see it, and I'm just like, I don't even want to say anything, because I don't know if I should like jinx it or whatever, But at the same time, it's like, that's so cool, because I know this person wasn't playing Pokemon when they were younger. I know that they were probably ignorant, and I say that in just the definition of the word. They were ignorant of what Pokemon was and had some sort of issue with it when their kids were trying to play it. So to see the expansion of Pokemon, and it being because of trying new things and allowing it to grow in different directions, that's great. I'm all for that. But this Pokemon is too big to not also stay tied to its past, or to try things that would embrace its core principles, its core characteristics even more. Like, I'm actually very excited for Scarlet and Violet, and I know that it's going to have an open world like Legends Arceus. I hope the traversal is much better, because I'm sorry, in my opinion, the traversal of Legends Arceus is trash. I can't stand the way they implemented that. I can't stand the way they implemented combat, or the way that you can completely circumvent combat to catch Pokemon by doing this weird little sneaking thing. And not a huge fan of like the alpha Pokemon and all these different things. I think the graphics look very washed out. Like, Pokemon should be very vibrant and colorful. But anyways, Scarlet and Violet look like they might be doing kind of everything, a little bit of everything the right way. You know, I feel like maybe there's going to be a really good blending of traditional Pokemon style combats and features and such, but also with the new open world and introducing these new forms, I suppose, if we're correct. Everything we're hearing about, like ancient forms and future forms, all that sort of thing. That's great. Let's do that. Let's try it out. Keep the core gameplay, but do these new things. I'm excited for it. BDSP was the first time, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, was the first time I played Pokemon as a game since Pearl. Because in many people's opinions, and I know it's not just me, I've seen it all over the internet, I've talked to people in the real world, Generation 4 was the last great Pokemon generation. And what happened after that? Future games started adding gimmicks, you know, Z moves and Mega Evolutions and Dynamaxing and then like, do we have an Elite Four or not? Do we have gyms or not? Like, all these different things that to me shouldn't have even been questions for Pokemon, because that is Pokemon. You have an identity to this brand, to these to the games, the core gameplay identity that has to be there. You can build on top of it, you can evolve it in different ways, but you really shouldn't be trying to eliminate that or act as if it doesn't exist. So that was where many people, we disconnected from Pokemon, was at about that point, because it felt like they were trying to do too many different things that were not what Pokemon already was. So that being said, I do look back though, and honestly, with what's come later, like Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus and the like, I actually do look back at a lot of those DS Pokemon games and hope to get a 2DS at some point to play XY, Black White 2. Definitely not Moon or Sun, or Ultra Moon or Sun. Played about an hour of Ultra Moon and traded that game right back in. Way too goofy. But anyways, so what I'm proposing at this point, keep moving forward, do the generational games, you know, core gameplay with additional new features that you've picked up or learned from, say, Legends Arceus or the previous generation. You've built upon what it did. That's all great, right? Do your spin-off games like Legends Arceus or Rangers or Detective Pikachu, whatever you want to do to experiment with gameplay and features and stuff. That's fine too. You know, continue to add on to Pokemon. That's fine. We've got to have those core things there. So why not either Game Freak themselves or outsource to another studio? There are so many great smaller time, like JRPG style studios out there that if you told them, or if you put Pokemon in their hand and said, hey, make us something, if it meets our quality standards, then we'll publish it, and that'll be your big break. You know, I think Ilka did a fantastic job with BDSP, and I don't know what they did before that. I didn't even know they existed. Now I'm willing to like try out stuff that they do, or their next Pokemon game if there is one. But outsource possibly to a smaller JRPG, indie studio, whatever it is, and say, make a Pokemon game that has the more traditional style graphics and gameplay. You know, I would love to see something that does pixel art again, even if it's like a slightly more advanced version of pixel art, like the kind of thing we see in stuff like, what is it? Bravely Default, I think is the game I'm thinking of. There's been a bunch of them though that would be really good examples. But do something that's like retro pixel art style with your top-down, maybe isometric perspective, and a route system and a gym system. But look at how much more powerful your console is now than it was 25 years ago. and look at how much technology has advanced since then, and technique for game design. You could make an absolutely massive world with multiple regions in it, have different, like obviously have the whole Pokédex possibly included in this game, split it up into these different regions, and maybe like do a whole bunch of new Pokemon that are exclusive to like different regions in this just a huge, I guess you could call it open world, but it would still use a route system. You know, just make it play like it's an old school Pokemon game, but with modern features. You know, give it online, give it trading, give it multiplayer, you know, all these different things, all the great like quality of life improvements we've had over the last 25 years, but do it in a style that feels like you're embracing the past, and perhaps incorporate that concept of the 65,535, or I believe that's what it is. Yeah, 65,535. Perhaps that would be like the new gimmick that sells this version of Pokemon. Say, hey, we're going to the past. You're going to have all your modern features and quality of life, and the graphics are going to be better, higher fidelity, the sound's going to be higher fidelity, but it's going to make you feel like you're playing Pokemon Red and Blue if it was a modern game. And everybody who plays this game, your world is just somewhat different from the person next to you and from everyone else's, because your world was generated to be unique to you, and your region is a little bit different. You know, maybe what Pokemon appear where, at what rates, if they do appear at all, and what kind of abilities and stuff they have, and then what gym leaders you have and where they're arranged, where the towns are. All these different things would be just so amazing. You know, like imagine the content creation potential. Imagine the sharing with your friends potential. You know, you have your friends come over and you show them on your TV what your Pokemon world looks like. Or, hey, I got this variant of Jigglypuff, or, you know, Yanma or something, but I got it here, and because I got it here, it had slightly different attacks or slightly different stats or abilities or whatever, right? And then when you trade it to them, it's going into a whole new world. Perhaps have a way to, I don't know about co-op, but have a way to like bring other people into your world to try and adventure with you and catch Pokemon. These things could all be done. Like you could really do like the most ambitious retro style Pokemon game with that whole concept from the very beginning, from the originals, that was supposed to be each person's game was unique. Your experience, which Pokemon you found and where, and was this Pokemon rare to you? Was Magikarp actually really hard to find in your game, whereas it was really prevalent in someone else's game? You know, these things would be really cool. And I just can't understand why they haven't done it yet, except for the fact that I know that Nintendo, and obviously to a lesser extent with being in control of Game Freak, they're like the stupidest smart company ever. Like they've built like all these massive brands, you know, each one by itself is a huge seller and could potentially sell consoles and are worldwide recognizable for gaming, for merch, for entertainment in general. And they know how to protect their brands, which is great. They know for the most part how not to screw them up. But there are so many like things here and there that you go, God, you guys are just missing out on money. You know, you could print money with this idea, right? Like have this version of Pokemon, for instance, be compatible with home, you know, so that like, and if it had like whatever the full current gen Pokédex is and stuff like that would be fantastic. Imagine you catch like some shiny rare version of a Pokemon in your version of the world, and then you could transfer it up to home and then pop it over to Scarlet and Violet and raise it there and use it. Or maybe you catch something in Scarlet and Violet that you're having a really hard time finding in this version. You transfer it there. You know, that stuff would be fantastic. So anyways, the whole point of this is to say that like Pokemon is just such a huge brand and a gaming franchise I understand the need to move forward and do new evolutionary changes, but it's too big to ignore its past. And having very traditional Pokemon style gameplay and adventures, coupled with perhaps bringing back this original concept, almost like a procedurally generated world, that each person experiences slightly differently. Like, why not do that? So anyways, hope you enjoyed this little bit of speculation and commentary. Like I said, this was kind of a while coming. I wanted to formulate my thoughts and present them in a way that people understood where I'm coming from. I'm not, taking a dump on any current version of Pokemon and what it's doing. I'm trying to accept that it's there and tolerate it and just say, okay, well, if we're going to do that, let's do this other thing too. Pokemon definitely has the resources and they definitely have the popularity to afford it. That's quite obvious. So let's do it. Game Freak, Nintendo, like you did with BDSP and Ilka, find some studio you trust or that you want to give a chance and have them make the game that you're not making. You're focused on the mainline games, you're focused on all that, that's fine. But these other projects could really be awesome for Pokemon and for, giving us an outlet while we accept the current and new, giving us an outlet to go, okay, so we're cool with that, but we still have this too. So anyways, just a little bit of commentary there. Hope you enjoyed it. I started this channel based on commentary. That was where it all originally came from. I want to do a little bit more. I've got a new microphone set up. So interspersed between, reviews and unboxings, video game footage, and, Pokemon card openings, of course, I want to do more of this sort of thing. I just have to find subjects that I care about and have something to say about. So please like, comment, subscribe. I know I say that all the time. Trying to grow the channel, trying to get a little bit bigger audience and see what people think of what I'm doing, because that feedback, not only can it help me improve, but it can also just show me that people are enjoying this, and that I do have an audience that wants to hear what I have to say. So, Rival Indigo, and we'll see you in the next one.